In the last lesson, we learned how to say, "What is this?" Do you remember how to say it? Wonderful.
これは何ですか?
Very good. Kore is this in English. And it refers to something close to you. Since Japanese does not distinguish between singular and plural nouns, kore is also used to mean these.
これは何ですか?
Today we'll learn a word that refers to something that is close to the listener, not you.
それ。それ。
Sore is that, or those, in English, and refers to something close to the listener, not you. So let's ask, what is that? Excellent.
それは何ですか? それは何ですか?
And there's one more thing. There is also a word used to refer to something that is distant from both you and the listener.
あれ。あれ。
This are means that over there, or those over there in English. Now try asking, what's that over there? Wonderful.
あれは何ですか? あれは何ですか?
Very good. Words like this that indicate things based on their position relative to the speaker or listener are called demonstratives. Today, let's practice using various demonstratives so that we can refer to a wider range of things. By the way, we've already learned another demonstrative besides kore. Do you remember the word for this place? Yes, that's it.
ここ。
Nice. Koko is a demonstrative pronoun that refers to a place near you. When referring to a place rather than a thing, koko is used instead of kore. Depending on the context, it may also be translated as here. So today, let's say, this is a school. School is a place, so we say, this place is a school. And in Japanese, school is said like this.
学校。学校。
Great. So how do you say, this place is a school? Amazing.
ここは学校です。ここは学校です。
Very good. Now, let's say you want to talk about a place closer to the listener, not you. Can you guess what to say in this case instead of Koko? You guessed correctly.
そこ。そこ。
Just as kore becomes sore, Koko becomes Soko. Now try saying, that place is a school. Awesome.
そこは学校です。そこは学校です。
Very good. And there's one more thing. This is how we say a place that is far away from both the speaker and the listener.
あそこ。あそこ。
Great. Now try saying, that place over there is a school. That's exactly right.
あそこは学校です。あそこは学校です。
Very good. Let's now summarize the demonstratives we have practiced so far. They are listed in order of things close to you, things close to the other person, and things close to neither. For objects, it's like this.
これ、それ、あれ、
And for places, it's like this.
ここ、そこ、あそこ。
Actually, there is a more polite and formal way of saying these.
こちら、そちら、あちら。
These are more polite and formal demonstratives that can be used for both objects and places. For example, using these, what is this?
これは何ですか？
would be said like this.
こちらは何ですか？
And, that place is a school.
そこは学校です。
becomes like this.
そちらは学校です。
You can tell whether these are referring to an object or a place from the context. Business people basically use this polite form with their customers. So when you talk to shop or hotel staff, they will often use these, so you need to know them. Let's practice.
こちら、そちら、あちら。
Excellent. Now let's learn some more advanced expressions. Do you remember how to say, "This is my umbrella"? How do you say, umbrella? Hi, so this.
傘、
So how do you say, my umbrella? Bravo.
私の傘。
Watashi means I in Japanese. And you add the particle no between watashi and kasa. So let's say, this is my umbrella. Perfect.
これは私の傘です。
Very good. Today we will change this sentence to this. This umbrella is mine. We just practiced umbrella. How do you say this? You learned that this is kore.
これ、
However, this is only when this is a pronoun. When you say this umbrella, this is an adjective. When this is used as an adjective, kore becomes like this.
この、
Let's practice this umbrella.
この傘。この傘。
Good. Similarly, when you say that umbrella or that umbrella over there, sore and are change in this way.
その、あの、
Next, here's another new expression. Mine. How did you say my umbrella earlier? That's right.
私の傘。
Here's how to make it mine.
私の、
That's it. Just by adding the particle no after watashi, it means mine. It is said that this is a shortened form of watashi no mono, which means my thing.
私のもの。
Now you can say, this umbrella is mine. Marvelous.
この傘は私のです。この傘は私のです。
Wonderful. The next sentence is this. Is that umbrella yours? How do you say you in Japanese? Hi, so desu.
あなた、
So can you say, is that umbrella yours? Terrific.
その傘はあなたのですか？
Very nice. This, that, is used as an adjective, so it's sono and not sore. And to say yours, all you have to do is add the particle no to anata. Let's practice again.
その傘はあなたのですか？その傘はあなたのですか？
Very good. Now, let's talk about an umbrella that is far away from you and the listener. Is that umbrella over there Yamada-san's? Using what you know so far, try saying this. You are amazing.
あの傘は山田さんのですか？
Here too, we use ano instead of are. And if you add no to Yamada-san, it means Yamada-san's. Let's practice again.
あの傘は山田さんのですか？あの傘は山田さんのですか？
Awesome. Finally, let's learn two new particles today. Let's go back to the simple sentence from earlier. This umbrella is mine.
この傘は私のです。
Let's change this to, this umbrella is also mine. This is how we say it.
この傘も私のです。
Mo is a particle meaning, also. When using this, the particle, wa, is not used. Let's practice.
この傘も私のです。この傘も私のです。
Very good. So can you say, is that umbrella also yours? Amazing.
その傘もあなたのですか？その傘もあなたのですか？
Well done. Next, let's say a sentence like this. This umbrella and that umbrella are mine. This is how you say, this umbrella and that umbrella, in Japanese.
この傘とその傘。
This particle to is similar to the English word and. However, unlike and, it is placed between all listed noun phrases. For example, let's say this, that, and that over there.
これとそれとあれ。これとそれとあれ。
In Japanese, we use to as a connector between all noun phrases. There is no limit to the number of times you can use to. Let's practice. This umbrella and that umbrella are mine.
この傘とその傘は私のです。この傘とその傘は私のです。
Really nice. Today you have learned so many demonstratives. Looking at these, do you notice a common pattern? In each group, the first sounds are in the order, ko, so, ah. In fact, each group has another word that starts with do. These are interrogative words. In the next lesson and beyond, we will practice how to make sentences using these interrogative words. In Japan, these demonstratives are called kosoado words by taking their initials.
こそあど言葉。
There are many other demonstratives, but they all share the same pattern of kosoado. We'll practice those as well in later lessons. Now, in the next part, let's practice a conversation using the demonstratives we learned today. In today's conversation, the tourist visits a kimono shop. Kimono is a traditional Japanese outfit. First, listen to the whole conversation.
ごめんください。いらっしゃいませ。この着物は男性用ですか？そちらは女性用です。男性用の着物はこちらです。ああ、そうですか。あれも男性用ですか？はい、 あちらも男性用です。あちらは浴衣です。夏用の着物です。そうですか。どうも。
Now let's look at each sentence one by one. Today the tourist stopped by a kimono shop. As he enters the shop, he says,
ごめんください。
This phrase is used when entering someone's home or small shop to let them know that someone is entering. Literally, it's a formal way of saying, please excuse me. Of course, you can also say, konnichiwa during the day.
こんにちは。
By the way, how should you greet people at other times of the day? Here's a Japanese morning greeting.
おはようございます。
And here's a Japanese evening greeting.
こんばんは。
Great. One thing to note here is that you should only say, Ohayo gozaimasu, until around 10 a.m. Ohayo comes from the adjective, hayai,
早い。
which means, early. Gozaimasu is the most polite and formal way of saying, dis. So this means, it's early. Therefore, this is only used relatively early in the morning. If you are entering a small store, it is certainly fine to use these general greetings. However, in situations like this, gomen kudasai can be used at any time and is convenient. Let's practice.
ごめんください。
Wonderful. The salesperson then notices and greets him, saying,
いらっしゃいませ。
We practiced this in the last lesson. Let's practice again.
いらっしゃいませ。
Good. And the customer points to some nearby items and asks,
この着物は男性用ですか？
no is a filler word like, so of course you can omit it. He asks, are these kimonos for men? I'm sure you can already say, these kimonos.
この着物。
And here's a new expression. For men. We practiced how to say, man, in the first lesson.
男性。
The character, yo, means to use. If you add this after, man, it means for men's use.
男性用。
Let's practice the whole sentence.
この着物は男性用ですか？
Very good. To this, the salesperson replies,
そちらは女性用です。
Apparently those kimonos are for women. We practiced Sochira. This is a more polite and formal way of saying, Sore. Since the kimonos are close to the listener, Sore, or Sochira is used. In the first lesson, we also practiced how to say, woman.
女性。
So, here's how to say, for women.
女性用。
Now let's practice the whole sentence using both, Sore, and, Sochira.
それは女性用です。そちらは女性用です。
Excellent. The salesperson then shows the customer where men's kimonos are displayed.
男性用の着物はこちらです。
You know all the words in this sentence already. Let's try saying, men's kimonos.
男性用の着物。
Here, the word, danseyo, which we practiced earlier, modifies, kimonos, so the particle, no, is placed between the two. You can also say, dansei no kimono, to mean, men's kimonos.
男性の着物。
However, depending on the context, this could also be interpreted as, a kimono owned by a man, or something else. To clarify the nuance of, for men's use, the word, yo, is often used. Kochira can be interpreted as either, ko-rei, or, Koko. In this scene, the salesperson is referring to the place where men's kimonos are displayed. So let's practice using, Koko, as well.
男性用の着物はここです。男性用の着物はこちらです。
Very good. The next phrase is already familiar to you.
ああ、そうですか。
This is a response similar to, I see. Let's practice.
ああ、そうですか。
Perfect. Then the customer points to a kimono farther away and asks if it's also for men.
あれも男性用ですか？
A to is a filler word, similar to, no. It's used when someone is pausing to think or hesitating before speaking. When referring to something that's far from both the speaker and the listener, we use are. Remember? We also practiced the particle, mo. Adding mo to are means, that one over there also. Or, that one over there, too. Let's practice.
あれも男性用ですか？あれも男性用ですか？
Fantastic. The salesperson answered, yes.
はい、あちらも男性用です。
However, this time, Achira is used instead of are. Let's practice with both.
はい、あれも男性用です。はい、あちらも男性用です。
Great. The salesperson then adds a bit more detail about the kimono.
あちらは浴衣です。
Yukata is a type of kimono. Let's practice this using both are and achira.
あれは浴衣です。あちらは浴衣です。
Good. The salesperson then explains what a yukata is.
夏用の着物です。
It is a casual summer kimono. This is how you say summer in Japanese.
夏。
Therefore, natsuyo means summer use.
夏用。
By the way, this is how to say all 4 seasons. Spring,
春、
summer,
夏、
fall,
秋、
winter.
冬。
Let's practice the sentence.
夏用の着物です。
Beautiful. Finally, the customer responds to the salesperson's explanation as follows.
そうですか。どうも。
We just practiced, so desu ka? We also practiced domo in the last lesson. We learned that this is a short version of thank you. How do you say the full version of thank you in Japanese? Wonderful.
ありがとうございます。
Of course, you can also say the full version in this situation. However, the full version is quite long, so domo is often used to express a quick thank you. Let's practice it once.
そうですか。どうも。
Now, let's practice the whole conversation once. Listen to each sentence and repeat it.
ごめんください。いらっしゃいませ。この着物は男性用ですか？そちらは女性用です。男性用の着物はこちらです。ああ、そうですか。あれも男性用ですか？はい、あちらも男性用です。あちらは浴衣です。夏用の着物です。そうですか。どうも。
Now let's do some role playing. First, in part 1, you'll play the role of the customer. Then, in part 2, you'll play the role of the salesperson. Let's get started. Hajime.
いらっしゃいませ。そちらは女性用です。男性用の着物はこちらです。はい、あちらも男性用です。あちらは浴衣です。夏用の着物です。ごめんください。この着物は男性用ですか？ああ、そうですか。あれも男性用ですか？そうですか。どうも。
Great job, everyone. In the next lesson, we will create sentences using the final element of koso auto words, interrogative words that begin with do. See you again.
ではまた。それは何ですか？